Carl Jung spent his life studying the parts of human nature that most people try to avoid. He wasn't interested in just helping people feel better. He was trying to help people understand themselves, even the parts they didn't want to see. For Jung, real healing wasn't about pretending to be good or happy. It was about becoming whole, even if that process was difficult and uncomfortable. At the heart of Jung's philosophy is the idea that we are much deeper than we appear. We are not just what we show to the world. We are made up of everything we hide, everything we don't understand, and everything we haven't yet discovered about ourselves. Understanding Jung's ideas can change the way you see yourself and your life. His work gives you a blueprint for inner growth, one that is messy, painful, but ultimately freeing. One of Jung's most important ideas is the concept of the shadow. The shadow is made up of the parts of yourself that you reject. It includes your anger, your selfishness, your fear, your cruelty, anything you don't want to admit is there. Most people spend their lives pretending their shadow doesn't exist. They build an image of themselves as kind, strong, moral, or whatever fits their idea of good. But the shadow doesn't disappear just because you ignore it. Instead, it acts out from behind the scenes, influencing your behavior without your awareness. When you sabotage your own success, lash out at people you love, or feel deep shame for reasons you don't fully understand, that's the shadow at work. Jung believed that facing your shadow is not about becoming a worse person. It's about becoming a complete person. When you acknowledge your dark impulses, you can make conscious choices about how to act. You stop being a prisoner to the parts of yourself you're afraid of. Ignoring your shadow doesn't make you good. It just makes you blind. Facing it gives you back your strength and self-respect. Jung also introduced the idea of archetypes, universal patterns of behavior that live in all human beings. These are not learned behaviors. They are inherited, timeless images that shape how we experience life. Some of the main archetypes are the mother, the warrior, the trickster, the king, the child, and the sage. You experience these archetypes whether you realize it or not. When you fall in love and feel vulnerable and wide-eyed, the child archetype is alive in you. When you fight for a cause you believe in, the warrior archetype steps forward. When you guide someone younger or less experienced, you're stepping into the sage or the mentor role. Understanding archetypes helps you see that many of your emotions and behaviors are not random. They are part of deeper, older patterns. Recognizing which archetype is influencing you in a given moment can help you make better choices. It also helps you realize that you are not limited to just one way of being. You have many different sides, some you may know well, and others you haven't even met yet. Growing into a full human being means giving space to all of these different sides at different points in your life, rather than getting stuck in just one role. Jung also believed in the existence of a collective unconscious, a deeper layer of the unconscious mind that all humans share. This idea explains why myths, symbols, and dreams are so similar across cultures and history. It's why ancient stories from completely different parts of the world talk about great floods, wise elders, trickster gods, and heroic journeys. The collective unconscious means you are connected to the human story in ways you don't even realize. When you face fear, when you search for meaning, when you wrestle with loss, you are walking a path that millions before you have walked. Understanding the collective unconscious reminds you that you are not as isolated or strange as you might feel. Your personal struggles are also human struggles. You are part of a much larger story. Realizing this can bring a sense of comfort and belonging, and it can also give you a deeper respect for the experiences of others. The ultimate goal of Jung's work is a process he called individuation. Individuation is about becoming the person you are truly meant to be, not who society expects you to be, not who your parents wanted you to be, but your real, authentic self. Individuation requires facing your shadow. It requires integrating the different archetypes within you. It requires accepting your flaws, your contradictions, your hidden dreams. Individuation often looks like a crisis at first. You may have to let go of old identities, old relationships, old ambitions. It can feel like your whole life is falling apart. But it's not destruction for its own sake. It's a transformation, a painful but necessary shedding of the false self, so that something more honest can take its place. You can't become whole without first breaking through the illusions you've been living under. You can't become yourself by staying comfortable. Individuation is not a destination you arrive at. It's a lifelong journey of becoming more and more real. Another important idea Jung gave us is synchronicity, the experience of meaningful coincidences. Sometimes you think about someone you haven't spoken to in years, and they call you. Sometimes you dream about a symbol, and that same symbol shows up in your waking life. Jung believed these moments are not just random. They are glimpses into the hidden connections between your inner world and the outer world. Synchronicities are a reminder that your life is not completely chaotic. There is an unseen order at work, a kind of dialogue between you and the larger universe. Learning to notice and respect synchronicities can help you feel more connected to your own intuition. It can also remind you that even when life feels confusing or overwhelming, you are still part of a larger process, one that has meaning, even if you don't always understand it right away. Carl Jung's philosophy teaches that true growth requires courage. It's easy to live on the surface, to avoid looking at your pain, to blame other people for your problems. It's much harder to turn inward and face the parts of yourself that are uncomfortable or painful. But real healing, real transformation only happens when you are willing to be honest about who you are, not just the good parts, but all of it. Jung shows that meaning in life doesn't come from chasing happiness. It comes from engaging fully with the journey of becoming yourself. This journey isn't clean. It's not easy. But it's the only one worth taking. If you are willing to walk that path, to face your shadow, to understand your patterns, to accept the depth and complexity within you, you will not only heal yourself. You will become someone who brings more honesty, more strength, and more compassion into the world around you. In the end, that's what Jung's philosophy offers, a way to live more deeply, more honestly, and more fully, as yourself.